This is video 2 for HoverMatt in-bed proning techniques. So we've already taken our patient from supine and turned them prone onto a HoverMatt. Now we're going to go through the process of taking that patient from prone back to supine. So same as in the last video, we've got a minimum of 4 caregivers. We've got one at the head to manage tubes, lines, and the patient's head. A caregiver on each side, ideally 2 caregivers on each side to manage that proning or supining process, and then 1 caregiver to manage the air supply and call out directions. So first step is going to be, again, securing the patient's arm on the side that we're turning towards. So to do this, we're grabbing a sheet, pillowcase, something that we can tuck underneath, up and over the arm, and back underneath the patient. Once we're fully tucked and that arm is secured, we're going to then inflate the HoverMatt that the patient is laying on and place a second HoverMatt underneath. That's going to allow there to be a HoverMatt in place once we go into that supine position. It's important that when we place this second HoverMatt, it is actually off-center towards the rails that we're turning towards, so that once the patient is supine, they land in the middle of that lower level HoverMatt. Now once we inflate, we're going to off-center the patient a little bit, get the HoverMatt underneath, and then we're going to off-center them some more, which is going to give them space. Once we go into that supine position, we'll then shut off the air supply and go through the rest of the steps. So I've got my air supply hose with the snap on the end, unvelcro, match up with the snap on the inside of the HoverMatt, velcro over the top. I'm going to hit my adjustable speed button twice here, and then fully inflate. Now that we have the patient off center, we're going to take this top layer HoverMatt and we're going to again fold and tuck it underneath the patient completely so that none of the mat is showing. This is going to restrict the airflow and allow us to let the air assist do some of the work for us in this supining process. So once we're fully tucked, we just want to make sure the buckles and straps are out of the way. And then we're going to go ahead and hit the full inflation button. That's going to give us the momentum. We're going to let it do some of the work for us, and then we're going to go into that supine position by lifting up on this side a little bit after it's inflated for a couple seconds, and then our opposite caregiver is going to guide that patient down into position. Shut off the air supply and disconnect. The last step in our process is to now recenter the patient. So I'm going to reconnect the air supply. I'm going to hit my adjustable speed twice and then fully inflate. So now we've covered in video 2 the in-bed proning position from prone to supine.